Hi, this is James Gordon Octorli here with Book Review. Today's book I'm reviewing today, Mindhopper by James B. Johnson. This was published by Dawn. This came out in March 1988. Despite the gorgeous cover and the synopsis, this book was absolutely terrible. I was really kind of let down by this book. It has a really interesting an interesting idea, and the setting is really interesting. And basically, it's like set in this like dystopian future where basically the government is now has like tight control on its citizens, and after some fertile war, it causes the United States to be kind of split into two sides, with even some states forming their own like independence and stuff. And there is a bunch of like other themes this book has in it. Despite all of that, the the actual plot of this book is terrible, despite all the interesting, themes and subject matter it talks about. It's like a completely different story entirely, and I was really disappointed with this book. Not only that, but the writing structure in this book is awful. I felt like I was like reading a really bad like B movie when I was reading this book. Like the dialogue is awful, the writing structure is terrible. There's no likable characters, and this is something I'm going to talk about later on. But the main character, he doesn't struggle for anything. He easily gets out of any situation he's in. He's able to find anything he needs easily. And I was like, there's no challenge to this character. There's no challenge. There's no struggle. There's nothing. This is terrible. And this book got so bad. I said, fuck it. I'm done with this thing. It's just terrible. So um, avoid this book. It is not worth reading. All right, on to the book review. Plot set after the events of World War III, when the United States becomes American Federation and is split into two sides. There are also some states that have formed their own countries, like Texas. The FA has tight control within its cities, as newborns are given barcodes along with tracking devices to ensure the government knows where its citizens are at all times, along with vehicles. The FA has also invaded other countries, with many immigrants being forced to work low-paying jobs while social elite enjoys a life of luxury. The lower class and immigrants flee these cities and live off the grid, while others work on farms, trying to avoid the FA as possible. Wendy, who used to work on a horse farm owned by Boss Man, he helped a Hispanic woman, Maria, give birth to a boy she named Mandy while traveling across the old United States trying to find work and a home, as it's nearly impossible for her to afford a living within the cities and racial tension. Several years later, Wendy wakes up as he's being carried inside a large building located somewhere in Florida, as it's the hub. Escorting him to the main office is two tall and heavily built special security men. When he is brought into the office, he is greeted by Administrator Amber Lee Smith along with a doctor. Then the young boy of Mandy is brought in. After Lee sees that Wendy is recovering well, they send him off into a cell as Mandy cries and tries to run towards him but is taken away. Wendy begins to recover his memories and how he ended up here. He looked over Manny along with his mother as they live on the farm and teaching everything he knows. Manny looks up to Wendy like a father. Suddenly, the FA send in a squad of SpecSec or SS as they attack the farm with helicopters. When he tries to escape with Manny while riding on a horse, but the animal is shot by gunners, as both Wendy and Manny are thrown off and badly injured. As he's piecing everything together in his cell, Manny communicates to him through his thoughts, telling him that the doctors are trying to unlock his secret powers while giving him drugs. When he knows why FA attacked his farm, they want Manny's powers. Wendy is able to break out of his cell and retrieve his Uzi and blast his way through the guards. Rescuing Mandy, he also finds his friend Clayne Plash, who helps them escape the hub by stealing a helicopter. Wendy learns Bossman has sold him out and refuses to help out a wanted criminal, and Manny's father is dead. Clayne Plash will take the two of them to Atlanta and knows a person who can help them, Swallow. Once they reach Atlanta, both Wendy and Manny get off the helicopter with Clayne Crash taking off. They eat at a local McDonald's before hooking up with Sandy to help them out. Sandy takes them to her yacht as they travel towards Daytona. Wendy contacts Marie, who's hiding out in Tampa, through a computer as she's a skilled hacker. They'll join her there while there are others on Sandy's yacht. Once they reach the shore, Wendy steals a 57 Chevy from a museum, goes to a bank to open an account and get money, then spends a night at a hotel as he and Manny go to team up with Maria along with others to take on the American Federation while being hunted down by Spec-Sec. Mindhopper is a terrible novel. While it has some interesting ideas with themes of dystopia, fascism, elite society against low class, and surveillance, but the moment we follow the main character, we hardly see any of these themes within the story as it's poorly executed. For example, the novel states early on how FA has tight control over its citizens, and they are tracked at all times where they go. However, Wendy is able to go wherever he pleases without having any problems, and can even go and leave a big city and into a bank or even a fast food restaurant without having to worry about being spotted by security, and during a few scenes, he is able to easily escape them as they don't even recognize him or Mandy. And the dialogue is awful. All the characters have strange and downright weird lines of dialogue with a lot of it not making much sense. No likable characters throughout this novel, especially hated Bossman, who's the one who sold out Wendy and Mandy to Spec-Sec, but when they meet again, for some reason, Bossman has to work with Wendy as he doesn't say anything or punish him for selling them out. All the characters are flat, boring, and offer nothing to make them interesting. But the worst is the story structure. It is so poorly written as I feel like I'm reading a bad B-movie at times. Wendy never struggles with anything. He easily gets what he needs, knows where to find items, people, or anything else, and the pacing is just sloppy. It goes from one place to the other and feels rushed with no effort put in to add in much needed detail and build up the plot and improve the story structure. Overall, I don't recommend Mindhopper. It's an awful science fiction novel that isn't worth reading. You can find better sci-fi dystopian novels than this one. And that's our review today. This one's just a short and simple one. There's not really much else to talk about with Mindhopper. I was just so let down. Like, the cover looks so cool. The synopsis sounds really interesting, but the moment I go read the book, it's like a totally different story entirely. Uh, as I said, the main character, Wendy, he never struggles with anything. He's able to find whatever he needs easily, and there was a few times where I actually reread sentences because I couldn't make sense of what was going on, and during the prison, the scene where he breaks out of his prison cell, he retrieves his Uzi, like, it's already brought to him, and the thing's already loaded when he gets it. Like, he knows the thing's loaded. He doesn't bother to see if it's loaded or not. He just he I can't recall how he breaks out of his cell, but it was kind of like it was kind of like too simple, I think, for to break out of this like high-tech cell. He gets his Uzi and the thing's already loaded, and the guards are there, and it takes them several minutes for them to recognize who it is that's standing out here, and by the time they go to draw their weapons, Wendy has already taken them out. I'm like, does anyone recognize who this guy is? Like, you think he'd be wearing like a uniform, like a prison jumpsuit or something? No, they just stand there until the last minute. Oh, you're the prisoner, and then go draw their weapons. So there was that part, and then there was another part where when he goes to like this old car museum and he steals like a 57 Chevy, and again, the car has fuel. It's all set to go. He doesn't have to check it. He just like, it doesn't even say if he hardwires the car or not. He just goes to the museum and just takes the car. I'm like, come on, this is way too easy. Like, it should not be this easy. And a perfectly good 57 Chevy in a museum is going to have fuel in it. Like, what? Or the other part, which I thought was really stupid, is when he goes to Atlanta, or yeah, Florida, whatever state he goes to, he goes into a bank, opens an account, gets money, and is able to like just go anywhere he wants. I thought, isn't the government not monitoring its banks? Like, what happened to the beginning part of the story where he described this the United States is now like this like heavy, tight controlled country that the government monitors its citizens through heavy surveillance and stuff? Where is that? It's not even anywhere mentioned where the character goes. And I'm like, what is going on here? And then there's several times he easily bypasses guards by just simply walking away, and they don't recognize him. I thought, what the hell is going on here? And the other thing, the other character Mandy, who has like psychic powers. Well, from what I can gather, he can just like communicate through people's minds and stuff. But I guess later on in the story, he has like more powers and stuff. And the story doesn't really explain much other than Bossman sold Wendy out to the sold them out to FA, and for whatever reason, the main character decides to still work with Bossman despite being betrayed by this character. And like, you're gonna still work with this guy? He sold you out, got a bunch of people killed, one of your horses, and you're just gonna work with this guy and act like nothing happened? Even early in the book, it said Bossman doesn't want to work with a wanted fugitive and was the one that sold him out. I thought this book has a lot of interesting ideas going for it, but it's poorly executed. It's poorly executed. It's terribly written. It's not a well-written book, and this cover doesn't really match the story because when I look at this, I was thinking like it said far in the future and stuff. What I got is not even anything like this at all. The world does not look anything like this. To me, this cover mismatches the story. So this, yeah, avoid Mindhopper. It doesn't. There's nothing really nothing interesting about this book. It doesn't offer anything good. There are way better science fiction dystopian novels you can find than this one. Alright, that's it for the review today. This one's kind of a short and simple one. There's not really much else to talk about this book. It's just garbage, that's all. Alright, so I've already begun reading my next book. Recently I just got the Arrow edition of The Warriors, and it was great to finally have this late 70s film on Blu-ray again. So after watching The Warriors, I was thinking of another book, which deals with gangs in New York, so I just start this with my next book, Night of Power by Spider Robinson. I really like this cover. This is a sick cover. Alright, I'll be reading more of this later today, and I will read as much as I can to get a review out soon, and I already got another novel picked out for my graphic novel and manga reviews. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it, and please don't forget to subscribe to October Library, the YouTube channel, and the Facebook group of the same name. Please support and review fiction. Until then, I'll catch you later.